Shalom, call lawyer Bashim Shah. COVID pandemic could push more than a billion people worldwide into extreme poverty. UN warns another 207 million people could be driven into extreme poverty by the severe long-term impact of Crown Royal pandemic, bringing the total number to more than 1 billion by 2030, warns the UN. According to a new study from the UNDP released this week, a high damage scenario would mean a protracted recovery from the pandemic. The report anticipates that 80% of the pandemic-induced economic crisis will persist for over a decade, stalling the pre-pandemic growth trajectory. And that's showing you that it's not going nowhere. Said to 2030. It's what, 2021? It says a baseline C19 scenario based on current mortality rates and the most recent growth projections by the International Monetary Fund will result in 44 million people living in extreme poverty by 2030 compared to the development trajectory the world was on before the pandemic. It says world facing debt tsunami as CV hammers economies. As this new poverty research highlights, the C19 pandemic is a tipping point, and the choices leaders take now could take the world in a very different direction. Now, they're trying to take it into a different direction. So it said the UNDP's administrator, Kim Steiner, we have an opportunity to invest in a decade of action that not only helps people recover from C19, but that resets the development path of people and planet towards a fair, resilient, and green future. And it says resets right there. Resets and planet. And if you go into the word planet, this planet, it's referring to Earth. So cosmos, it's referring to the world reset, new world order. As I went to in my last video, it says the report indicated that focused investments could prevent the rise of extreme poverty, however, lifting 146 million from its grip and even exceed the development trajectory the world was on before the pandemic. So let's go into the word investments. It said a focused investment says the action or process of investing money for profit or material result. It says the outlay of money, usually for income or profit, capital outlay. And so basically they're trying to invest. It says focus investments. So those focus investments, more than likely is going to be focusing investments into this whole Great Reset, the fourth industrial revolution, the C19 pandemic. Those focus investments are going to be in more vaccines, more chips and stuff like that, just to push further this new agenda. All right. That's just me speaking as a man, or just in my opinion. That's more than likely what those focus investments are going to be. But this is Second Esdras chapter 16. It says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia! Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria! Gird yourselves up with cloths of sack and hair, bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire and stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For the strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until until they come upon the earth." So basically, the plagues are sent, and you go into the word plague. It says, cause continual trouble or distress to, affliction, torture, torment, trouble, curse. So, the Lord is sending these plagues, and where was I at? It says, and shall not return again, because we just seeing plagues happening, and they're not going to stop until the end. As we got somewhere in these later verses, but I'm gonna continue on. It says, "The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth." So yeah, it's not gonna stop until everything is destroyed. It says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. So when somebody shoots a bow, it says it doesn't return backward. A bow is very powerful, and it's going to hit what it's aimed at. It says, woe is me who will deliver me in those days. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. And it's a famine occurring not only because just like the shortage of food, but also, as we read in the article about a lot of people going into poverty. The Lord has sent these plagues. It says, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So the Lord is sending these plagues for his people to change. And then you go to the next verse, it says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So they, 2/3 of the nation of Israel are not going to turn from their wicked ways. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell, and it's a lot of people in great confusion right now. They're just going along with, this whole great reset, new world order. It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be casted out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all the places shall be desolate of men. And that's gonna start here pretty soon, man. It said by 2030, but that's just a projection, People are going to be very poor. They're not going to be able to afford food, and a lot of people are going to give into the system. It says, the grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For the places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another, and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in thick groves and the clefts of the rocks, because the love of many is going to wax cold, and people going to be trying to, get at one another. It says, as in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. Yeah, people going to be, invading the house, invading other people's houses. Just like I think it's the 2nd Esdras 15, people going to be invading one another for great tribulation and lack of bread. Roughly paraphrasing, it says, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her paths and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. And just to do, it was just a protest in front of that mayor in the LA house. He prevented basically all travel and even walking. So, places are not going to have people traveling through them. It says, the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms from the war. And, a lot of other stuff. It says, the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. It's talking to the elect. It says, behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack. As when a woman with child, and now in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pain come past her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. And that goes back to the plagues are sent, and they're not gonna return, because as soon as the I think it's called contractions, yeah, like when the contractions start, they just keep going and going and going until the kid is born. So that's how the earth is gonna be. There's just gonna be plagues and plagues and plagues until the end, until that marriage. It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth. So we blessed with how that's truth, and pretty soon, some brothers' lot is going to be pilgrims upon the earth. All right, so Lord willing, those edifying. Call hello, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Shalom.